Hi. Whenever you're deleting something in Windows, you're probably going to be using the recycle bin. The recycle bin is usually located up in the upper left corner of the desktop, and there are no less than three different ways of deleting a file. First thing you could do is, if you can see both the file icon and the recycle bin, you could just drag the icon up and just drop it into the recycle bin. Another way is to just select the file by clicking it and then press the delete key or the backspace key on your keyboard. And the third way is just right click the file and choose delete. Now, once you've deleted the file, can you change your mind and get it back? Well, obviously, when you see the word recycle bin, yeah, I think that you can do it. Okay, if you've not emptied the recycle bin, all you need to do is just double click on the recycle bin, look for the file that you want to restore, and then just choose to restore it. You could right click it and choose restore. Okay, and that works really nicely. Another thing you could do is, if you've made a backup of your data, all you got to do is go back. All you got to do is open up your backup and find the file and restore it back to your system. Okay, good. Now, suppose you have emptied your recycle bin. What can you do then? Well, then it becomes a little more difficult. You have to get a special program, an undelete program or a file recovery program, and use that. And you have to do it quickly, because as time goes on, as more files get written to your hard drive, there's less and less chance, or actually there's more and more chance that the file you deleted will be overwritten by one of these new files. And in that case, it becomes extremely difficult to get the file back. Okay. Now, if that's for normal people, if you're working in the government at the NSA or the FBI, they have special ways of getting files back. So even if you've deleted a file and you've overwritten the file once or twice, there might be certain small magnetic signals left on the disk, which the FBI can use to get that file back. So in that case, you want to be very careful. In fact, when you get rid of your computer, even though you delete all the files on it, there's traces of the file which still could be there. So it's a good idea to use a special program called a file shredder, which will overwrite the file 7, 10, or 20 times. And in that case, the magnetic signal left on the disk is very, very small, and there's very little chance that someone can get it back. Hi, I'm going to show you how to delete files and then restore them. It's a fairly simple process, but it's very important. So if you're not familiar with this, be sure to practice this at home. This skill will come in handy quite a bit, I assure you. Okay, good. First of all, we want to create some files. So what I want to do is bring up those two apps I had before, okay, which is the WordPad and the Paint program. So I'll just go click in the search box. I'll type in WO. And there's WordPad right there. Hit the Enter key to open it up. Okay, that's good. And I'll open up the Paint program. Click in the search box again, type PA, hit the Enter key, and Paint program appears like magic. There we go. Okay, let's go back to the WordPad program. I want to create some text. There we go. Hit the Enter key. Let's make that a little bit bigger. I'm going to just select it with the mouse pointer and change the font size to something nice and big, like 36. That's pretty good. And make it nice and bold and italic. Excellent. Okay, looks great. Let's change the font too. Go up here, click on that, hit the T key on the keyboard. Just go down here to Times New Roman. That's much better. There we go. Okay, let's save this. All right, so I'm going to click here and save it. Go up here to click on File, Save As. And there are different formats. Okay, this second format here, this is the Office Open XML format. This is kind of a little technical there, but this is the format that Word and Excel use. But we're not going to use that. We're going to use a different format, the rich text format. This is a standard format that every word processing program uses. So let's try that. We'll save it in this format here, the rich text format. And what that brings up is the dialog box, the Save As dialog box. Now, the dialog box will carry on a dialogue with us. It's going to ask us three questions. Number first question is, where do you want to save it? Okay, I'm going to scroll up to the top of this list here. I want to save it on the desktop, so I click on desktop. And there it is. There's desktop right there in the top. So I'm in the desktop and I want to save it. Now, the second question says, well, what name do you want to put on there? So I'm going to change it from document, change it to some more text, SOMEMORETXT. There we go. And the third question is what format? Now, we've already selected rich text format, so it just repeats that. So we're okay. And all we need to do now is just click the save button, which saves our file. And sure enough, right on the desktop, there it is right there. There's a little new icon there, which is our file on the desktop. Okay, enough of that. We'll go to the Paint program and we'll make a little design here. I'm going to create some shapes. I'm going to make a nice little square here. Just draw a nice big square like so. And I'm going to change the color, make it a red square like so. And then put a little circle inside it. I'm going to click the shapes again, go into this oval here, and go up about here, make it about that big like so. That's nice. And we'll change the color of that to nice blue color. And let's fill that up. Okay, I'm going to click here, click the tools, put the paintbrush, paint bucket, and just click in the middle of there. Ah, look at that. Okay, simple little design. Let me change this tool back into the pencil. Okay, and let's save this. I'm going to click on File. Okay, go down to Save As. And again, there are different formats. There's the JPEG format, which you're probably familiar with. But the newer one is the PNG format, which has more capabilities. So I'm going to use that to save it as a PNG format. And again, that will bring up the Save As dialog box. Again, it's asking three things. First, this question is, where do you want to save it? So I'm going to scroll up to the top, click on Desktop. Okay, so I'm in the desktop. And then I'm going to go down here and change what's the name. Okay, second question, what name? Well, not untitled. I'm going to change that to my first artwork. Okay, good. And the third question, of course, is what type? Well, we've already said PNG file, which is fine. So we're all set. All we need to do is click on the Save button to save it. And sure enough, in our desktop, we now have a new icon there that indicates what it looks like. Pretty nice. Okay, we're finished with these apps. We can just close them down, close down the Paint program, close down the WordPad program, and now we have the two files over here. Now we change our mind and say, oh, you know what? These things aren't that important. I want to delete them. Okay, we have a recycle bin up here at the top. I can just grab this file here and just drop it into the recycle bin. Boom, it's gone. All right. Another way to do it is I can either right-click this file, and eventually a menu appears, and choose Delete. Okay. Or I can select it. Just select the file like so. See, it has a little square around it. It's selected. And now if I hit the Delete key or the backspace key on the keyboard, it'll go away. And well, just right-click it and choose Delete. There we go. All right. Nice. And now that I've deleted them, I say, oh no, I didn't want to delete one of those files. I want to get it back. Well, it's still in the recycle bin, so I can get it back. I can just double click here, and that will show me all the files that are in the recycle bin. There's my text file here, some more text. So I'm just going to right click that and choose Restore. And sure enough, it reappears on the desktop, and I'm happy. And I can just close down the recycle bin. And now I say, well, you know what? I want to save some space on my hard drive. I want to get rid of everything that's in the recycle bin. So what I'll do is just right-click the recycle bin and choose Empty Recycle Bin. And there's one document in there, so it says, are you sure you want to do that? And I go, yes. Okay, good. And now the recycle bin's empty. Now, if I change my mind again, I say, oh, you know, I did want to get that file back, that file that I just emptied out of the recycle bin. Well, there are ways of getting it back. As I mentioned, you can go and get a special program called a undelete program, okay, or a file recovery program, and you can then recover it, but you have to do it soon because that file is still on your hard drive, but it's not protected anymore. So as new files are created and written to the hard drive, they may overwrite the file. Once it's overwritten, it's really, really difficult to get it back. Okay, good. So those are some basic skills in terms of deleting or creating files, deleting files, and restoring files. Okay, so again, practice those if you haven't done anything with them.